How's it going?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Hey everyone,
Nice to
welcome to
meet
Fight
you.
Talk Podcast with your boy. Huh? Oh, you paused. Hold on.
Nice to meet you.
There we go. You're back. Here, let me make sure my connection's good. Hold on. Yeah, hold
That
on.
better?
Yeah, I think that's good. All right.
Okay.
All right, there we go. You can hear me fine and everything, right? Okay. Hey
Yeah.
everyone, welcome to Fight Talk Podcast with your boy the What's Next Kid here. Today I'll be interviewing a fighter, and today's podcast is sponsored by Montauk Iced Tea, right? Got it behind me, and actually this is really good iced tea. I just had Chris Algieri try it yesterday, and he loved it. He said it brought him back to his high school days. He completely loved the iced tea. I even asked him when the cameras were off, did you really love it? He was like, yeah, I loved it. It tasted like Arizona. So everybody, make sure you get yourself some Montauk iced tea right here. Everybody right here, guys, make sure you get yourself some because Chris Algieri had some, and actually his Dan had some. The head of Inside Boxing Live, the podcast, he had some, and he liked it. Well, he didn't drink any, but he had it in his hands and took a photo of it. So when you got guys like that, you gotta have some of your own. And I mean, look at it, just like a colorful bottle. So you gotta get some. All right, so let's get into today's interview. So tell the fans a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Sarah Roach. I'm from Champaign, Illinois, which is a town basically right in the middle of the state, about 2 hours south of Chicago. I am 31 years old. I'm a mom to a 3.5-year-old. So I train between 5 to 6 days a week. I train Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, and I'm a purple belt. Been training since 2018, so just hit my 8-year mark. I'm an active competitor, and I really want to encourage more women to join the competition scene. And I want to be like just a, just set a good example for women in the sport and for moms out there as well. Like we can do this kind of thing.
Well, do you have any up and coming fights or anything like that?
Yeah, I've got a busy next few months. 2 weeks I'll be traveling to St. Louis to do a submission only tournament out there. So I'm excited for that one. I've got another grappling games up in Chicago at the beginning of March. I've got a super fight on March 21st, which I'm super excited about that one. That's going to be, it's called the Combat Corner Invitational, and it's going to be in Waynesville, Missouri. So it's hosted by a gym called Team Enigma out in Missouri. And the story of how I got invited to go compete at that is pretty cool. So I got invited to that by my friend Isabel Dawson, and she and I actually did a super fight back in 2024, and that's how we met. So we became friends based on that. And she reached out to me like a month ago. It's like, hey, Sarah, my gym's hosting this super fight event, and we'd love to have you out. So that is on the card for the next couple months, and then I've got even more on the agenda for April and May too. So I keep busy.
Well, what is like your long term goal in fighting?
So I want to compete as much as I can over the next couple of years. While my son is still kind of little and not so involved with his own hobbies and stuff yet, I really want to see how far I can get as far as different kinds of competitions go. So I like doing super fights a lot. Like I think that's a really good way to challenge myself. And I want to just see how many times I can compete and how far I can get with it.
Now, tell me about your training for this up and coming match that you mentioned. Well, what are some specific drills you are doing in training to get ready for this match?
So yeah, I train like I said, between like 5 to 6 days a week, and we focus a lot on concepts and positional control versus just learning moves like A, B, C, 1, 2, 3 kind of thing. So I think that like mindset has really kind of guides my training. So it's less about like focusing on specific movements I want to do versus focusing on concepts of controlling the fight from the beginning, from the feet. My gym does a really good job of focusing on a lot of stand up, which was like a hole that was lacking in my game around this time last year. So I've really been trying to focus more on my stand up and my top position and positional control for this.
Now, tell me, do you know anything about your opponent for this up and coming fight?
For the one in 2 weeks, not really, because there aren't any other purple belts signed up yet. So I'm hoping they'll combine me with some of the blue belts that are in, or another purple belt lady. If you're out there and want to compete, come sign up. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to make that work. And then I do know I do have my opponent set for the March 21st super fight. She is a blue belt. I think she's 35 or 36 years old, so she's around my age. She also competes pretty frequently. I know she's done some super fights too. So that's going to be really exciting. So I'm looking forward to that one for sure.
Now tell me, do you ever get nervous before a fight or anything like your arms get heavy, your legs, anything like that? You know, because usually that happens to fighters. They'll get those heavy arms, like 50-pound weight arms, 50-pound weight legs, and when they get in the fight, they'll get tired faster. You know what I mean? Because
Mhm.
you're a fighter, so I'm sure you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah. The nerves and the adrenaline are definitely like they're always there before every match. And it's just I've done this so much now that you learn kind of how to address them. And I think that I learned my warm up. Like I know how to stretch, I know how to warm my body up and get my heart rate up before I get into the arena. So that definitely helps. But yeah, you always feel the adrenaline and the nerves. Like that's just a part of the sport, but that's why I compete. Like I want to keep competing is because my goal is to actually like compete better than I do in the training room. Like I want myself to be able to perform when I'm out competing. And I think I'm getting there. This last tournament I did at the beginning of January, it was really good. It was the first competition I've done since switching gyms last year. So it was a good like statement for my training the past few months with this gym, and I won all my matches that day, so I had a really good day. And so I think just like focusing on the mentality of it and getting more experience has helped manage the nerves overall.
And tell the fans who are watching right now where this match will be at.
The one in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's gonna be the submission. It's called submission challenge, and it's gonna be I can't remember the specific little city in Illinois, but it's near St. Louis, so it's just outside St. Louis.
But that's the name, the submission challenge, right?
Submission Challenge, yeah, is the name of the organization putting on the competition. Um, and then my super fight at the end of March, that's called the Combat Corner Invitational. So if y'all want to look that up, that should be a pretty exciting one.
Now, do you have an Instagram they could follow you at?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Feel free. It's just Jitsu Ginger BJJ, all one word, no hyphens or anything like that. So feel free to look me up on Instagram. I try and post pretty regularly. I like posting a lot of content about like my competitions and just my day-to-day training at the gym and fun little jujitsu things.
Everybody, make sure you go watch her match at this tournament. She told you the name, so make sure you Google it. And so tell me, right? Like, how are you gonna deal with that pressure from the crowd and stuff like that? I'm gonna read you this quote, right, from John Scully, the Iceman, right?
Okay.
Now it's a boxing quote, but it still goes with every kind of fighting, every mixed martial arts of fighting. It still goes
Hmm.
with the wait in the dressing room before a professional boxing match. That last hour could be enough to strip a man who never boxed before of whatever pride, desire, and heart he thought he had. The Iceman, John Scully.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, I think that's true because there's no way to like faking this, you know? Like when you step in that arena by yourself, like it's on you to perform. and like all your training, all your teammates, like they're there for you, but you have to have that confidence in yourself that your training's going to come through. And sometimes you're going to get your hand raised and sometimes you're not. But at the end of the day, just going out and just being there, like I think I've grown to be so appreciative of the opportunity to compete, and that really helps me like manage the anxiety because I like look around and yeah, there's all these people watching me and there's all this noise, but at the end of the day, it's a mat. It's jujitsu. It's the same thing that I do every day, just in a different spot. And so really refocusing on that and trying to keep that at the forefront of my mind when I'm about to compete, I think that helps a lot.
Now, do you have a job away from the sport?
Yep. Yeah, so I work full time. I work at a private school in town and I work in the special education department, specializing in math interventions. So I help kids with their math homework and teaching and coaching them in math at most of the days. And along with helping out in the special ed department, sometimes I sub for classes. So I have a lot of hats. And then I'm a full time mom too. So I have a lot of jobs.
Now, does your job interfere with your training at all?
No, thankfully my school and my gym have a pretty good schedule. So I
Good.
work, from like 7 to 3, and then I'm off usually in the afternoons, and then training is in the evenings, and then on Saturday mornings. Um, so I have very full days. I mean, I get home, I pick up my kid from daycare, and then we're at the gym, by like 5:30 or 6, and there for a couple hours, and then come home, get him to bed, and reset for the next day.
Now, tell me, what was your motivation to get in combat sports overall? Because obviously, you have a job, a full time job, and
Mhm.
you could just be doing that instead of actually doing combat sports, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, so I was introduced to jujitsu by my ex back 8 years ago. So he'd trained for a while and thought that he wanted to get back into it after taking a break, and he thought that I would like it because I've always been in sports. I've always been very competitive. I'll give it to him. He was right. I fell in love like really quickly with the sport. Uh, And I did my first competition after 6 weeks of training because I like love to compete and wanted to see, just to test myself. Um, but what kept me coming back is just I love the challenge of the sport and how like it's never finished. Like I will never know everything there is to know about jujitsu. I'm constantly evolving and like learning, and it's never boring. And on top of that, being able to defend myself, like, out in the world, I think that's something that nobody can take away from me, and that's just so important to keep up on that now, and I take great pride in, like, my own health and, being able to compete and just take care of myself.
Now, you didn't watch any tapes on your opponent?
For a couple I haven't watched, no, not yet. I haven't been able to find too much on her yet.
Now, is there anything you would like to say to her? Could be nice too, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm just excited for the chance to compete. So thank you for taking the match because we as women sometimes struggle to find opponents. And so I'm just grateful for the opportunity, and I just want to do my best. I want her to come and bring her best and just see who comes out on top and how we can get better.
Well, what's the game plan for when you're in there?
Um So plan is I like to stay on my feet now. I no longer I try not to pull guard unless I have to. So I want to keep it on the feet. I would love to hit a good takedown, get on top, stay on top, go through my submission series. One thing though, like I'm comfortable in like all the positions now. Like my coach talks about how there are no bad positions. Like you just learn how to work through everything. So I feel like no matter where the match goes, like it's just going to be fun and I'll be ready for it.
And now tell the fans again where this is going to be, who's going to be the promoter and stuff like that. so they know where
Yeah.
to watch it again. I just want to make sure they all know where to go.
Yeah, so February 14th, we're doing the submission challenge outside St. Louis. I'll be competing at Grappling Games Chicago on March 7th. So if you want to watch that. And then the big one is the Combat Corner Invitational on March 21st in Waynesville, Missouri. So those are the next three I have on the list that I'm really excited for.
And since you mentioned about women fighters, you want to represent them and bring more to the sport. What is some
Mhm.
advice you would give to them? Say if they were a woman fighter who was watching this right now, what
Mhm.
advice would you give to her as of right now?
Just to keep going and to not let anything hold you back in from doing what you want to do in this sport. I think we have just as much right to be here competing as anybody else. And I think more women just need to be willing to step up and say, you know what, I'm going to test myself. I'm going to go out and compete and grow the women's competition scene even more than it already is. Like I've seen a lot of growth over the past few years in competitions, but there's more. Like I'm still going to local tournaments and having trouble finding opponents, and I want that to not be a thing. You know, I want the women's brackets to look like the men's brackets do, and I want more women to just be confident and comfortable in knowing that it's okay to compete and test yourself. And that's honestly one of my favorite parts about this sport.
Well, that's all the questions I have, but I hope I got everything that you wanted on here.
Yeah.
And is there anything you would like to add? Maybe shout out some sponsors, anything at all?
So I'm actually looking, that's one of my goals for this year is actually looking to get sponsored. I'm not currently sponsored at this time. Other than my gym. So my gym is called Battle Horse Martial Arts in Champaign, Illinois. So if anybody is ever coming through Champaign and wants to hit me up and come train with me, that would be great. And we don't just do jujitsu, we do Muay Thai and MMA, and we have amateur and professional fighters at my gym. So it's a really neat space to come check out. So I would love to meet some of you guys if you're ever in my area. But yeah, other than that, I don't think I have anything. Thank you for having me.
Well, it was good to have you on. And everybody, make sure you get her some sponsors. Come on, guys. Got to get her. Well, it was good to have you on and nice talking to you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you.
All right. And if you ever want to come back on, just book me on Millions.
All right. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Bye. You too.